Hello. So I'm actually printing some stuff out for classes right now. So if you hear something in the background, that's what that is. My cat's over here attacking my hand. But I decided while I'm waiting for that to print, I can do one of my videos on learning to let go. So how to learn to let go of what you can't control. Um, this is an article I found that I just wanted to read and then add my own things, when I can. And of course, get attacked by a cat. So, the article says, a friend of mine once told me, almost everything in life that I've ever had to let go of has scratch marks on it. His point was that he found it very difficult to let go of things he couldn't control. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Many of us don't want to let go of things like we like. So we hang on until they're forcibly taken away, and even that, we still hold onto them mentally and emotionally. What we have not realized is that holding on, can wreak havoc on our lives. Holding on to things we can't control can cause us a great deal of stress and unhappiness. It also keeps us stuck in the past and keeps us from growing and living our lives freely. If we want to be happy and free, then we need to learn to let go. So in this article I read, they examine what letting go really means, why it's so hard, and how your life will improve by letting go of the things you cannot control. So, what does letting go really mean? We often hear that we need to let go of something we can't control when it seems to be causing us problems. But what does letting go really mean? Sorry, I kicked the thing. To understand this, we need to understand why we get so attached to things in the first place. Attachment is mental and emotional fixation on something we think we need or want. We get attached to things we like, people, views, outcomes, or material possessions. Then the reasons we get attached to them is that we're afraid we'll lose them, and therefore we'll be unhappy, or we may even think we won't survive. Many of us confuse sensual pleasure or emotional gratification with happiness, and they're not the same. True happiness comes from freedom from suffering, not sensual pleasure. Yet our society teaches us that we achieve or acquire things that bring us pleasure, then we'll be happy. The problem is that this approach to finding happiness is that our emotions are temporary by nature. What happens when the novelty of a new car wears off is that our satisfaction diminishes. Until we learn how to find freedom from our suffering, we will continue to attach to things that bring us sensual pleasure or emotional gratification. So letting go means to release our fixation on these things. It don't necessarily mean we'll lose them. Come on. He's getting on something he wasn't supposed to. Anyway, so why is letting go so hard? There are various reasons why letting go is so hard. One of them is that we romanticize holding on. We romanticize it in our literature, music, art, and films. There's something romantic about holding on to something we love. We want to feel the love of that person forever. Fear makes it hard to let go. We're afraid of what will happen if we lose something that we depend on for survival or happiness. So we hold on the best we can. Holding on is also a habit. Our behaviors are so deeply ingrained in us that we just hold on to things even without realizing it. In addition, we're afraid to look at ourselves because we may not like what we see. Another reason letting go is so hard is that our self-identity is associated with the things we have. A nice family, a house, a car, or other material possessions project an image of who we are. Hopefully it's a successful image. Our self-identity is also associated with our views, especially political, religious views. Some of us are addicted to drama, will enjoy dwelling on our emotions. We certainly like positive emotions, but even negative emotions can get us attention, which also brings us pleasure. These emotions can be also part of our identity. So, the illusion of control. Intertwined in our attachment to things is the illusion of control. We often believe that if we get all of the material things and circumstances just right, then we'll be happy. So we try to manipulate people and circumstances in order to get what we want. The problem with this way of thinking is that everything is impermanent. Nothing ever stays the same. We get attached to certain things we like and expect them to remain that way. This will always lead to disappointment. Sorry, he's being a pain in my butt. Anyway, in reality, the only thing we have control over is ourselves. So, the benefits of letting go. Why should we learn to let go? There are a variety of reasons. Among them are freedom, better relationships, and continued personal growth. So first we start with freedom. Letting go leads to freedom. When we learn to let go, we can be free from sources of our pain and suffering that are holding us back. We often hang on to the things that are no longer servicing us, and such as unhealthy relationships. I know I did. Maybe at one time we were benefiting from the relationship, but often when people grow, they grow apart. And that was what happened with my last serious relationship, because when I was not growing and I was just not really working on myself or doing what I knew what I really wanted, things became strained. And then I started working on myself and that's not the person he liked. So better relationships is also a benefit. So a healthy relationship is one where both partners have the freedom to be who they are. Those who are holding on to their partners too tightly to allow them to be free. So if you're holding on to them like this, like I'm holding this cat, this cat's gonna eventually freak out and want to leave. Yeah, see. But that's kind of how it is. When you're holding on so tightly to that relationship, you don't allow them to be free. You smother them and try to mold them into the ideal partner. Like, if I could have molded this into the ideal kitty, he would eventually give up and leave me alone. But he don't give up. I've seen other cats who rub their belly, they run away. He don't run away. He just stays and stays and stays. And of course, just to prove me wrong, he's walking away. He'll be back. Anyway. So, when you learn to let go, you'll attract a healthier people in your life. That's because healthy people don't want to be around someone who will smother them. Continued growth. If we hold on to something, we can't move forward. We cannot grow emotionally if we hold on to something we think is bringing us happiness but isn't. As you learn to let go, your self-esteem and self-confidence will grow. Mine certainly has. So, 5 tips for learning how to let go. Learning to let go is not as difficult as you may think, but it does take some courage and determination. So here are some things to help you. 1, stop blaming others. We often blame others for our misfortune. In such cases, we feel like we're the victim of others' injustices. While this may be indeed the case, we cannot waste our lives waiting for other people to repair the harm they did to us. They may be unwilling or even unable. 2, just simply make the decision to let go. I once heard someone say how easy it was for them to quit smoking once he made the decision. We often say we want to change something in our lives, but make a half-hearted effort. If you really want to make a change in your life, then you have to get serious about it, and that starts with making a decision. Trust that you'll be okay. One of the reasons we hold on to things that we think we need them to survive. Remember, letting go is the release of our mental and emotional fixation on something. 4, learn the lesson and move on. Life is a series of experiences that were meant to teach us important lessons. When we refuse to let go of something, it is important to it is because we refuse to see what life is trying to teach us. As a result, we feel stuck. 5, meditate. Meditation can make just about any situation better. In this case, it can help us calm our emotions, gain clarity, and give us the inner strength to let go. And it can also help us stay calm and positive. So some final thoughts. I know from personal experience that letting go can be really hard and even scary. But in my 28 years I've been on this earth, I've had to let go of many things I thought I needed to survive, and I'm still alive. In fact, I'm actually quite happy now than I've ever been. I've learned to let go, and so can you. It gets easier with time and experience. Once you realize how liberating it can be to let go of things and have a few successes under your belt, you'll be able to let go before something causes you great harm. In time, you'll be able to move beyond just letting go and not get attached to things in the first place. When this happens, then you'll know the true meaning of freedom. So that's it. Thanks for watching.